So where did we stop in the last class? Just a minute. So I'll be talking about map type collections today. Okay, map collections. Map collections. Okay. Yes. So when we talk about map type collections, they are also one type of collections, but they are different from the collections which we saw so far. I can say that a map is a collection of object pairs. Map is a collection of object pairs. Object pair is a combination of key and value objects. Key can be any type of object and value can be any type of object. Okay. Key value pair is called an entry. Key value pair is called an entry. Okay. Okay. Key value pair is called entry. Keys should be unique. Keys should be unique. Yeah. Okay. So now let's see this key value pair, this map type collections. As I told you people, map is a collection of object pairs. That means the object pair is a combination of key and value type objects. Key can be any type of object, value can be any type of object. Key value pair is called as an entry. Okay, and keys should be unique always. Yes. So let's take an example for this. Okay. Yes. Yep. Good. Just a minute. Okay. So now let's see why we need map type collections. So for suppose, let's say I got a requirement. We are supposed to store country name and its calling codes. So what you'll do, country name in it, its calling code. So you'll have many such countries, right? So for each country you'll have a calling code. Yes, country name and its calling code. So this is the requirement. Now you see, you may have n number of countries. There will be a country name and a calling code for that country. So to store these details, you see, I'm going to use a map. To store these details, I'm going to use a map. Let's do this. So here I'll create a hash map object. Hash map is one of the collection classes, you know, especially it represents map type collections here. Okay. Key, I'll just instantiate this class. Okay. So here you see we can add this details to this map using this put method. Say country name India. Let's say country code is 9091. Okay. Again, country code is US. Calling code is 001. Country code is UK. Calling code is 044. Country code is Canada. Calling code is 001 itself. Yeah. So this way you see we can store key value pairs here. Okay. So each key value pair is an entry. Key is country name and the value is the calling code here. You see, while creating that hash map object, she will specify the key type and value type. In this case, key is string type, value is also string type. Key is string type and value is also string type. Yes. You know, key. and value, they can be any type of objects. Key can be any type of object and value can be any type of object here. There is no such restriction. Key can be any type of object. Value can be any type of object. Yes. Okay. Hope you people got it. Now how many entries we got here? How many entries we got here? So the number of entries are 4. That's right, exactly. The number of entries are 4. Okay. Number of entries are 4. So now have you noticed it? Values can be duplicated but not keys. Values can be duplicated but not keys. Okay. You know what? Here, now for the map type collections also there is a separate hierarchy. You will find that the map type collections also there is a separate hierarchy. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. Yeah, I'm sorry. So now for the map type collections, you'll find that we got a separate hierarchy for the map type collections. Let's go through it. Okay, you see, this is a map type collection class hierarchy here. So map is a root interface here, and map interface is implemented by the map classes. One of the map classes hash map. It implements map interface. Now you see the map interface has got the methods now which represent the most it represents the most common operations which we perform on the map type collections. Map interface represents map interface has got the methods which represent the most common operations which we perform on the map type collections. Okay, yes. So now let's go through that map interface once. Okay, yes. So first method is size. You'll find that most of the methods which you see in map, they are similar to the methods of the collection interface. So for example, you got size method here. So size method, what it does, it returns the number of entries in the map. It returns the number of entries. How many entries you got in the map? It returns that size, number of entries. Calling codes dot size. Size is 4. Okay. Next, we got is empty. So it returns true if the map is empty, and it returns false if the map is not empty. Next, we got contains key method. So contains key, what it does is it will search for the key here. Contains key method, it will search for the key. You see the name itself indicates. We saw contains method earlier in the collection interface, right? Here it is more specific to the keys. Particularly if you want to search for a key in the map, you can call this method and pass the key to that map. So if the key is found, this method returns true. This method returns true. If the key is not found, so this method returns false. That's it. Similarly, contains value also. So contains value method will search for the value. Contains value method, it will search for the value. If the key is found, if the value is found, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. Okay, now get method. Now we can read value associated to key with get method. So you call the get method and pass the key, it returns the value associated to that particular key. Okay, let's see. Calling codes dot call this get method and pass the key. Let's say key is US. Now what it does, so it will return that value 001. You see, you got the value 001. Yes. Next, we got put method. Just now we have used it. So why we are using put method? To add a entry, that is key value pair. So to the put method, the first parameter which you pass will be the key, and the second parameter will be the value here. First parameter is a key, and the second parameter will be the value. Next, we got remove method here. So remove method is used to remove an entry from the map. So remove method will take the key, and it removes the entry associated to that key from the map. Next, we got put all method here. It is similar to add all method. It is similar to add all method. So we have worked with add all method in the collection interface, right? So what is that add all method? We saw add all method. Can you people tell me? Add all method. Adds the elements of one collection to another collection. That's right. Exactly. So put all method also does the same. Put all method will add the entries of one map to another map. Put all method will add the entries of one map to another map here. Okay. Yes. Let me show you people. For suppose, let's say we got another map here. So in this map you got three entries. In the first map you got two entries. Now I want to add the entries of the second map to the first map. So if you want to do that, then use that put all method. Calling codes dot put all, pass the second map object reference to the put all method. Use the first map object reference to call the put all method, and pass the second map object reference to the put all method. Okay. Now after calling the put all method on the first map, and passing the second map here after executing the statement, how many entries will have in the first map? How many entries will have in the first map? Is it 4? Okay, it is 5, right? So we got 5. So in the second map we got 3 entries. In the first map we got 2. So it will be 5. Okay, fine. So next we got clear method. In the collection interface also we got the clear method, right? So what exactly the clear method does? What exactly the clear method does? Removes all the elements from the collection, right? So it will make that collection empty. So it will remove all the elements or delete all the elements. Here also the clear method will remove all the entries, will delete all the entries from the map. It makes that map empty. That's it. So next we got key set method here. Key set, you know what it does? We can use this method to read all the keys from the map. Okay, you'll find that key set method will read all the keys from the map and will store them into a set type collection object and returns that collection object reference here. It returns that collection object reference. Yes, I'll show you people. So now I'll call the key set method. So it returns a set object reference. So in that set we'll have keys, only keys. So let's read them. You see you got all the keys. Okay, next we got values method here. We got values. So values method, what it does is it will read all the values from the map, will store them into a collection object, and returns that collection object reference here. That is what the values method does. Yeah. See, calling codes dot values. You see, will return all the values here. That's it. Okay. Next, we got entry set. Yes. Now this is how we are going to read the entries from the map. Now we saw how to read the keys independently and how to read the values independently. Separately, we are reading the keys and values. We can read an entry, complete entry, all the entries from the map. So this is how we'll do this. Calling codes dot entry set. Call this method entry set. So entry set method, what it does? It returns a set of entry objects where an entry is a key value pair. Entry is a key value pair here. Okay. Yes. So that entry set, what it does is for each entry which you got in the map, it creates an entry object and stores that entry details into that entry object. Entry means a key value pair. It will store that entry, that means the key value pair, into the entry object. You see, we got entry type here. It's predefined. Okay. So entry type is there. So an entry object is created, and in that entry object, the key and value pairs are stored. So if you got 10 entries in the map, then how many entry objects will be created? What do you think? If you got 10 entries in the map, then how many entry objects will be created? So 10 entry objects will be created. Okay, definitely 10 entry objects will be created. So let me print that entry details. You see, in the entry you have a key and value objects, right? So you call this get key entry dot and call that get value method. That's it. Okay. So in the entry object, you got these two methods, get key and get value. Let's run this code. Yeah, fine. So these are the different methods. Now there are few methods, which are added in Java 8. Okay, that new methods. So I'll talk about them later. Okay, so if time permits, so later on I'll talk about them. Not now. Yes. Okay, fine. So this is about map type collection interface, map interface here. Now you see map interface is implemented by hash map class, and we have used it just now. And hash map again, you see, is your hash map. You'll find that there is a subclass for it called as linked hash map. You got a subclass called as linked hash map. Yes. Next, you got hash table class. Hash map class internally it uses hash table data structure. You got hash table data structure, right? So it uses internally hash table data structure. You got hash table class here. Hash table class also uses hash table data structure internally. This class called as hash table. So it uses hash table data structure. Okay, yes, it uses hash table data structure. So both the classes they implement the same data structure. Then what is the difference here? So this difference is similar to the difference which I have explained earlier to you people. Uh, you know the difference. What is the difference between array list and vector? The same difference will it exists here. What is the difference between array list and vector? Yes, can you people tell me? Just a minute, please. Just a minute. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So yeah, the difference between array list and a vector. Array list class objects are not thread safe. That's right, exactly. Whereas vector class objects are thread safe, right? Yeah, I got another answer. Vector class was introduced in earlier versions and array list was introduced in later versions. Even this answer is right. Yeah. So, hello. Can you people hear me? Hello? 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 Can you people hear me now? Sorry. Okay. So, yeah. So, the answers which you people gave, they're right. So, you'll find that vector class objects, they're thread safe, whereas array list objects are not thread safe. And the other difference is vector was introduced in earlier versions of Java, whereas array list was introduced in later versions of Java. Yes. Yeah. Even here, the same difference, you can make a note of it. Hash table objects are thread safe. Hash table objects are thread safe. Whereas hash map objects are not thread safe. Hash map objects are not thread safe. Okay. Yes. Hash map objects are not thread safe. And the other difference is hash table was introduced in earlier versions of Java, whereas hash map is introduced in later versions of Java. Okay. Hash map is introduced in later versions of Java. Okay. Hash map is introduced in later versions of Java. Hash table was introduced in earlier versions of Java. So hash table objects are thread safe, whereas hash map objects are not thread safe. And one more thing here, you see, hash table class, you'll find that there is a subclass for it. Properties. Properties class is a subclass of hash table. Properties class is a subclass of properties here. Yes. Now let's see this properties class. Properties class is a subclass of hash table. So let's see this properties. So this is also used to store the key value pairs, but it is slightly different here. you know, you'll find that the keys and values will be string type always here. Okay, yes, keys and values will be string type. So we'll add that entries here. Put, you got all these methods. We see we don't need to specify explicitly what type of key it is, what type of value it is. Okay, yes, that's it. Okay, now there is one more special thing about properties. This is very special about properties here. What is it? You will find that we can configure this key value pairs in a properties file as well. We can configure the key value pairs or name value pairs in a properties file as well. It is possible here. Okay, so let me show you people. As of now, you see we are hard coding this key value pairs in the program, right? But instead of it, we can supply that key value pairs and name value pairs through the properties file as well here. Okay, yes. So let me create a properties file here. New file option is there, you see. Let's say codes.properties. I'm creating a properties file. The extension should be dot properties here. Okay, yes. So I'll add it to the project actually, I'm sorry. Directly add it under the project. Yes. Okay. Now you see you can add that name value pairs here. So how will you add the name value pairs in the properties file? This way. You see, in each line we'll add one key value pair, and the key value pair you will find that it is separated by the assignment operator. On the left side of the assignment operator, we got the key. On the right side of the assignment operator, we got the value here. Yes. Now we got this key value pairs here in the properties file. And how can we read that key value pairs from the properties file? Now we don't have to worry much about it. You will find that in the properties class, we got a method for that. Properties dot load. So we need to pass that file input stream to this load method. That's it. the load method itself will take care of reading that key value pairs from the properties file. New file input stream, codes dot properties. Okay, so now the load method will take that file input stream and it will make sure that it will read that key value pairs from that properties file here. That's it. Okay, now let's see that key value pairs whether they are stored in this properties object or not. Okay, we'll see that. We'll read one entry, get, I'll pass a key. You should get the value associated to that key. Okay, fine. So you got this value 001. So this way we can configure the name value pairs or key value pairs in a properties file here. You can hard code them and see we can load that properties file. Now you will find that the properties files are widely used. Going forward, you'll find that these are most widely used. We use them to store the server configurations and all. Okay, yes, database server configurations or application server configurations. All will be key value pairs itself. All these configurations will be key value pairs, and you'll find that even the error messages in the web applications, which you'll see, whenever there is an error, validation error in the form, you'll see certain error messages, right? Even those error messages, they are configured in this properties files itself. Okay, it's fine. So you'll come across the properties files a lot later on. So as of now, is this clear for you people, what we discussed? Yeah. Any questions? So any questions? Okay. Now let's move on. So this properties class is very helpful later on, where we can read that configurations which are stored in that properties files and all. Fine. Next we got sorted map. So sorted map is an interface. What is sorted map? It's an interface. So it extends map interface. It's a sub interface of map interface, I can say. So the sorted map here, it is similar to your sorted set. We saw sorted set interface earlier, right? So what is sorted set interface? Yes. Yes, you will find that the elements in the actually sorted set interface, it represents ordered collections. Ordered collection means the elements in the collection, they are sorted, according to the natural order of the elements. It depends on the elements, right? So if it is integers, it will be ascending order. If it is strings or text content, it will be dictionary order. So it depends. Okay, you can say the elements will be sorted based on the natural order of the elements. Yes, fine. Okay, so here the map also, it represents ordered map. Sorted map means it represents ordered maps. Ordered map means where the entries are sorted in an order. But now the question is how the entries will be sorted based on the key or value. Now we don't have single elements here unlike collections, right? So you have entries where entry is a combination of key value pair. Now how this entries will be sorted here is based on the key or based on the value. What do you people think? Yes, that's right. Exactly. So always it is based on the key. Always based on the key. Yes. Okay. Now you see tree map is such interface here. Sorry, tree map is a class which implements that sorted map interface. So tree map is similar to tree set. We saw tree set, right? So what is the specialty of tree set? Yes. What is the specialty of tree set? So when we add the elements to the tree set, you'll find that tree set will sort the elements internally and will store them. So we don't have to ask the tree set to explicitly sort the elements, right? Yes. We don't need to ask the tree set to explicitly sort the elements. So by default, when we add the elements to the tree set, it will sort them, it will store them. Now when we talk about maps here, especially this tree map, even when we add the entries to the tree map, when we add the entries to the tree map, you will find that the entries are sorted based on the key. By default, tree map will sort the entries based on the key and it will store them. By default, it will sort the entries based on the key and it will store them here. Okay. Yes. That is how entry set works. Sorry, tree map works. Okay. So let me show you people. So I'll add all the entries here to this map object. So you see, I'll change this collection class from hash map to tree map. Okay, yes. Okay, so as of now, you see the order in which we have added the entries. Now we'll try to read this entries. Now let's see what will be the order. Okay, so the entries are sorted based on the key here, right? So hope this is clear for you people. So this is about map type collections. Now, so I can say that now you are equipped with handling the collection of objects. Now we saw different types of collections as well, right? Yeah. So just try to work with these things, whatever we discussed so far. Okay. Yes. Now I'll close this maps here in the collections as well. Now we'll move on to the next topic, that is generics, or before that variable arguments, varargs. Did I talk about varargs? It's a very small topic. Varargs, variable arguments. Variable arguments. Yes. Okay. So let's see. Now, for suppose, uh, let's say I'll define a method here in this class. So if I do this, now this method here, it can take how many values? This method can take how many values? 1. So it can take one integer value. Now can I pass more than one integer value to this method? Can I pass more than one integer value to this method? While calling this method, can we pass more than one integer? No, right? See, if you pass one integer, it works perfectly without any issues, you see. It prints that I value 10. Now, always the parameters here, you see, they used to specify the number of values the method takes, or the arguments the method takes when we invoke it, right? Now that number is fixed, it cannot be changed as of now. Once you define the method, see, you can only pass one argument or one value to this method. It won't take more than one value. It is not possible. Not less than one or more than one. Exactly one. Okay. So but while defining the method, let's say we don't know how many parameters the method takes. While defining the method, we don't know how many values the method takes. So in that case, what you're going to do? While defining method, how many parameters the method takes, we don't know, let's say. That is decided at runtime. Then how will you define the method? So that is where the variable argument comes into the picture. Now, if we don't know how many values, integer values, the method is supposed to take, we can't declare a parameter this way, but instead we have to use variable arguments this way. Int ARR, let's say. You know, if you see three dots after the data type, you need to understand that it's a variable argument. You need to understand that it is a variable argument. It's a variable argument. So That means now process method can take how many integer values? What do you people think? Process method can take how many integer values? It can take any number of integer values here. Okay, so variable number of values or variable number of arguments. It can be 0, 1 or more than 1. It can be 0, 1 or more than 1, I can say. Okay, yes. So for suppose I can do this. I'll pass 3 values. You see that method will take them. You see, now that variable argument which you got here, you can think of it as an array itself. It's an array itself. Now you can read the values from that array. You will pass 3 values here. You see, now those values will be stored into that variable argument parameter, and you see we can read the values the way we read the values from the array itself. Yeah, yes, fine. So let me run this code. See, got all the 3 values. So as of now, the variable argument type is integer type. Now it can be any type here you wish. Even now, if you don't pass any value, still it works. So it's not complaining. You see, the console is blank. Okay. So now what if I want this method to take a variable number of string values? What if I want the method to take variable number of string values? Then what to do? You see, the type should be string. Yes. Now this time, you see the variable argument type is string type, and now you can just pass string values here. You see, it takes multiple string values. So let me run this code. Yeah. And there are two important points regarding the variable arguments. Number one is, for a method, you cannot add more than one variable argument. For a method, you can have only one variable argument. As of now, you see we have added one variable argument, right? Now, that's it. You cannot add another variable argument here. Please make a note of it. For a method, you can have only one variable argument. Yes. For a method, you can have only one variable argument. Yes. Next, one more point. The variable argument should be the last parameter. Always, the variable argument is supposed to be the last parameter. You may have more than one variable argument, right? You can have multiple parameters for the method. You can have multiple parameters for the method, but you will find that the variable argument is supposed to be the last parameter. Variable argument is supposed to be the last parameter here. Okay. Yes. You see, for example, I may have two parameters here. You see, one is integer type, it's a normal parameter, and the other one is string type, which is a variable argument of type string. Okay. Now, so the first parameter is integer value, right? Integer type. So if you want to call that method, first of all, you have to mandatorily pass integer value. You need to pass that integer value mandatorily, and after that, you see that string values, it is optional because it's a variable argument. You may pass 0, 1 or more than one argument here for that variable argument parameter. Yes. Okay, fine. So now you see, always the variable argument is supposed to be the last parameter. Please make a note of it. The variable argument parameter should be the last parameter here. Yes. Okay. Fine. So if I change this order of variable argument, sorry, order of this parameters here, you see, if I make that integer array the second parameter, you see it will be an error. The variable argument type string of method process must be the last parameter here. Okay, so is it clear? So this is about variable arguments. Now the next thing, again it's a small topic. Next topic is generics. So is anyone familiar with generics concept here? Yes. Generics. So generics, already we have used this concept, I can say. Already we have used it, but the only thing is you don't know that it's generics concept. That's the only difference. Definitely we have used it. Yes. Generics enable types to be parameters. Generics enable types to be parameters when defining the classes, interfaces, and methods, which provide a way for you to reuse the same code with different input types. Yeah, just make a note of it. Okay, so this concept, I'll tell you. For suppose, let's say you're declaring the parameter, right? As of now, you see, for example, if you consider this parameter, let's say, you see what is the parameter type? The string type. Now to this process method, when you call this process method, so what type of value we have to pass? String value. Can we pass any other type of value apart from string type? Can we pass any other value apart from string type? No, right? Type you cannot change it. Yes, it is not possible to do that. But let's say, okay, as of now, beforehand itself, you know the type of value the method takes, you'll define it. But for suppose, let's say you don't know what type of value the method takes. What type of value the method takes. Let's say you're not familiar with it. Yes, you got this. While defining the method, let's say you don't know what type of value the method takes. Yes. So what you're going to do? Hope you got the question right. You got any question? recommendations for this? Can you give me any suggestions for this? If you don't know what type of value the method takes, then what you can do? How will you define that method? Yes, any suggestions? So beforehand itself, let's say you don't know what type of parameters the method takes, then what you'll do? Yes, I can say you know one answer, definitely. At least you know one solution, definitely. Yes. Uh, no. One answer can be object type. Alright. So if you don't know beforehand itself, like what type of parameter the method takes, now we can define a method this way, which takes object type as a whose method parameter type is object type. Yes. Right. So object type can be the parameter type here. Oh, object type will be the parameter. Why this object type will be allowed here? Yes. Why the object type will be allowed? Yes, because object class is superclass of all the classes in Java. That's a reason type. That's the reason why object type will be appropriate here. Now this method can take any type of value. This method can take any type of value here. There won't be any issues. But I can say that there is one problem with this. What is it? You'll find that we'll not have type safety here. Okay, these methods, they're not type safe. So type safe means, now can we restrict that method from taking only a particular type of value? Can we restrict the method from taking only one type of values? Is it possible? So it is not possible. So type safety is an issue here. You can't restrict that method from taking a particular type of value only. So that is where the concept of generics comes into the picture. Yes. So let's see. Now I'll use this notation, angular brackets t, and I'll specify the type as t. What is t? T is generic type. What is t? T is generic type here. Are you able to hear me properly? Is there any disturbance? Do you hear any disturbance? Just want to see, check with few people once. Hope you're fine with that background noise, right? So because now most of the times we'll have connection emergence, processions will be there. Yeah. What is T? T means it's generic type here. Yes, T is generic type. So here, now T means what type? T can be any type. It's a generic type. So what type it will be? It will be decided while instantiating this test class. While instantiating the test class, that a T type will be decided. Okay. Yes. Test T. Let's say I want that method to take, process method to take string type. So I'll do this. So we have specified that as generic type as string type now. We want that type to be string type. That means now this method can take a string value. The T type, we have fixed it as string type here. Okay, we have fixed it as string type. So you see, now we can call that process method and we can pass a string value. Now it only takes string value, no other type of value. What if I try to pass some other type of value, let's say a savings account object, so it won't take it. You see, it says there is an error. What it says? The method process of string in type test of string is not applicable for the arguments savings account, it says. Now what if I want that process method to take savings account objects? What if I want that process method to take savings account objects? What if I want the process method to take savings account objects? So what are we supposed to do? While instantiating that class test class, you can specify the type as savings account type. Now you can use that test2 object reference to call the process method. You see, it takes savings account objects. That's it. Okay, it takes savings account objects. So this is how it works. Okay, did we use this concept? Did we use this concept? Okay, we did use it. You see, throughout our collections, we did that. You see, the add method which you got, it is based on this concept itself. Now you can think about, oh, yes, now the sound has increased. So I'll do one thing. I'll stop it here. In the next class, I'll explain this last part, and we'll talk about JDBC in the next class. Okay? Yeah. So enums and JDBC, I'll just postpone it to next class. So we'll meet tomorrow again at same time, and we'll continue our discussion. Okay? So just I'll stop it here. Okay. So thank you all. Have a nice day. So in the next class, we'll talk about JDBC as well. So if you got some time, please go through the database concepts once. Okay. Yes, database concepts. Fine. Thank you all.